Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, yet again. For the third consecutive occasion this season, the trophy recipient hinges on a St. Peter's versus Isipathana game and the Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts final between Isipathana College and St. Peter's College, brought to you on Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub, www.thepapare.com from Sugathadasa Stadium. It's been a while since we had any rugby action at this incredible stadium, but here we are bringing you the big one. Isipathana College taking on St. Peter's. This one is going to be a grudge match. This one is going to be a very, very interesting one, as these two teams will want to make sure they go out as the champions of the competition. The weather forecast for today, 31 maximum temperature. It's nice and sunny here, although there was a brief period of showers just before we started our live stream. Minimum temperature at 25. Currently it feels like it's around 29 to 30, but the sun gods are so far so good, and we hope the weather will hold up until the conclusion of this game, because the India-Pakistan game, which is very close to us here, has a reserve day, but not this one. The crowds are slowly but surely creeping up to the stadium, and we are expecting a massive turnout. There's very, very passionate fans from both the schools will want to make sure that they are here in numbers. Joining me in the com box is Abdullah Yusuf. Abdullah, it's going to be a very interesting game. Two teams who've met twice before this year to decide trophies are meeting again in this all-important final.
Yes, good evening, Sudarshan, and good evening all the viewers at home. Yes, it's 1-1, I would have to say, in the matchups between both these teams. Isipathana winning the sevens at the start of the season. St. Peter's, of course, winning the league consequently, and now we'll be playing for the all-important knockouts. It'll be interesting to see who will come trumps. Both teams evenly poised, probably the Peterites having a slight edge in terms of their forwards, but Isipathana are not new to playing big finals, is it, Sudarshan? They are very accustomed to playing it from their junior grades itself. Very proud rugby history. The Peterites on their part have done extremely well this season to remain unbeaten, and will definitely want to end the season on an unbeaten note as well. But at the same time, the Isipathanian lads will have different plans in their minds, as we have a wonderful panoramic view of our Sugathadasa Stadium, and both teams are going through their warm-up routines. And fortunately, as you said, Sudarshan, when we were walking in here, there was a slight drizzle, and we were worried whether the weather gods will be unkind to us, but things seem to have cleared so far, and it's just wonderful conditions for rugby. Any team that wants to throw the ball about and gain some territory with their kicks or keep the ball in hand will definitely get their full money's worth. Just coming to this venue as well, it'll be interesting to see how these two teams adjust to the venue, isn't it, Sudarshan? Because I don't think many of these boys would have played much rugby here. So it'll be interesting to see how they will adjust. And I think that could prove crucial. I'm sure they would have had their practice runs in the lead up to this final. But let's see how these teams will adjust to the conditions here at the Sugathadasa Stadium.
Sugathadasa Stadium it is, and this was the road to the final of Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts 2023. Isipathana College getting a bye in the quarterfinals, beat Zahira in the semis and booked their place in the finals. St. Peter's, on the other hand, met Trinity College in the quarterfinal. It was a very measured performance by St. Peter's to get over that, but what a battle it was at the Father Basil Veeratunga Shield game, the semi-final between St. Joseph's College and St. Peter's College. Dying minutes, St. Peter's managing to get a score, get a try, and winning that game 16 points to 11, booked their spot in the final. Let's take a look at how the quarterfinals of Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts worked out. The four knockouts: Isipathana College, of course, getting a bye like we mentioned. Zahira College winning at the brink of full time against the SN Anayaka College with 3 points a penalty rather, 12 points to 13. They were trailing. St. Anthony's College were bludgeoned by St. Joseph's College, but in that fourth quarter final, St. Peter's College, although being behind at half-time to Trinity, put on a terrific second half performance for a 4-try victory in the QF4. The semi-finals was a different tale altogether. Isipathana College running in 6 tries against Zahira College despite being 3-all at half-time. Abdullah Zahira has largely been that first half team. They are very reliant on their forwards. They couldn't match up to the intensity that Isipathana provided in the second half. Isipathana winning that one 39 points to 10. St. Joseph's and St. Peter's College 11-all until the dying minutes of the game, and then St. Peter's managing to score that one and booking their place in the final as we have a rematch of the league decider. The all-important trophy, Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts, will be decided between two fierce rivals. Isipathana College taking on the Petrites. It's going to be a very interesting one, Abdullah, and both these teams will not give a quarter to any.
Absolutely, they'll go hammer on tongs in this final, there's no doubt about it. But as we're just looking at how these teams have progressed to this final, so there's two very different routes, isn't it? St. Peter's have had 2 tough matches in the quarterfinals, first against Trinity and then against their traditional rivals, St. Joseph's. While Isipathana enjoying a bye, and though they were under the pump at halftime in that semi-final, eventually managed to win fairly comfortably. So both these teams coming into this final in entirely different manners. Isipathana probably slightly fresher compared to St. Peter's, but St. Peter's on the other hand would say that they're much more battle hardened. So let's just wait and see how this final eventually pans out.
As we take a look at the man in charge of St. Peter's College, Coach Sanat Mad, is having a hawk eye. What we'll do now is we'll go for a quick commercial break, but do not go anywhere, because on the other side we will have plenty to talk about, and we'll take a look at how the teams will line up for this all-important final.
Make your mark. Kiss Ride. Try the new wave of energy. Kiss Ride. Try the new wave of energy.
Smooth vanilla dairy ice cream with a thick layer of caramel, wrapped in a delightful coat of rich chocolate. It's unique. It's magic caramel ice cream bar.
Kiss Ride. Try the new wave of energy. Kiss Ride. Try the new wave of energy. Kiss Ride. Try the new wave of energy. Kiss Ride. Try the new wave of energy.
Smooth vanilla dairy ice cream with a thick layer of caramel, wrapped in a delightful coat of rich chocolate. It's unique. It's magic caramel ice cream bar.
Kiss Ride. Try the new wave of energy.
beautiful outside and inside.
Kiss Ride. Try the new wave of energy.
Smooth vanilla dairy ice cream with a thick layer of caramel, wrapped in a delightful coat of rich chocolate. It's unique. It's magic caramel ice cream bar.
Kiss Ride. Try the new wave of energy.
Colombo, beautiful outside and inside.
Kiss Ride. Try the new wave of energy.
Smooth vanilla dairy ice cream with a thick layer of caramel, wrapped in a delightful coat of rich chocolate. It's unique. It's magic caramel ice cream bar.
Kiss Ride. Try the new wave of energy.
Colombo, beautiful outside and inside.
Black Knight, make your mark. Kiss Ride. Try the new wave of energy.
Enjoy the infinite possibilities of the freedom of space, inspired by the beauty of our land. Sri Lanka's finest finished, largest sized porcelain tile collection. Majestica. Lanka Tiles. Fine living redefined.
Kiss Ride. Try the new wave of energy.
Welcome back to the live action brought to you from Sugathadasa Stadium as we're ready to bring you the live pictures of a very, very exciting encounter. Isipathana College, of course, taking on St. Peter's, the recently crowned league champions for the Pete Rights. It's the double on the line. And ironically, for the Isipathanians as well, it's the double on the line because they've won the seventh competition, All Island Sevens competition. So they'll be determined, despite missing out on the league, to make sure that they win this all-important knockouts trophy. It's a tournament that Isipathana College has had a lot of success in, and the Pete Rights as well do place this tournament very highly. Let's take a look at how the past 10 years have panned out in the President's Trophy. Since 2012, if you take a look at the victors, Isipathana College coming out as victors in 4 occasions, in 2012, 2014, 2016, and of course last year in 2022. St. Peter's last won it in 2019. They won it back to back in 18 and 19. In the last 10 years, other than these two teams, the only teams that have won the Knockouts Championship are Wesley, Science, and of course St. Joseph's in 2007. So these two teams are no strangers, Abdullah, in this mix, and they will want to make sure that they go the distance and have the bragging rights of becoming double champions.
Yes, definitely, Sudarshana. Both teams will really look to try and finish their season on a high. St. Peter's more so, it would be a fantastic effort on their part if they do pull this off and manage to win as unbeaten victors throughout the season. Isipathana have shown glimpses of what they could do, but unfortunately during the latter part of the season have fallen off a bit. But it's a big final. They will definitely want to put their best foot forward. And against Sudarshan, the conditions are just absolutely perfect, isn't it? The sun is out. It's just underfoot seems to be relatively dry. So I think it actually suit both teams' style of play to a certain extent.
Yes, as we ready for a very, very interesting one, as we take a look at a beautiful aerial shot of the Sugathadasa Stadium. When you take a look at it from this angle, which we don't normally get to see, Abdullah, what a brilliant facility we have here in Colombo. We've seen some incredible events, especially athletics events happening here in the golden age of Sri Lankan athletics. This stadium was packed. When I was a little kid in 1998, I was lucky enough to come here and witness the Rugby being played here as well. Vividly remember Kaushalya Veeraratne scoring a try for Trinity College, who went on to represent Sri Lanka in cricket. But rugby has been a distant memory at this stadium. The closest occasion I remember rugby being played here is last season, the one-off game where Isipathana played against Wesley College. Here are the Isipathanians making their way inside. They will be pumped up. They will want to make sure that they are victors. They try and hit back on this grudge match. It's the trophy that they are playing for, the Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts Championship, and winner takes it all. What we'll do now is we'll try and take a look at what happened when the last two teams met up. These two teams met at St. Peter's College for a winner takes it all league decider, and the Peterites, of course, were the victors. Very interesting game, but what a start to it when Yumet Chihara of St. Peter's College just ran through everybody and made sure that he converted his own try.
Yeah, that's right. St. Peter's really put on a show that day at Bambalapete, their home ground. Isipathana kept on nipping back into the game, but some wonderful plays by St. Peter's. The front peel, that was their second try. And we have to keep in mind that on that day the Peterites did have home advantage, which they took maximum use of. But today they are playing on a neutral venue, and a venue that both teams are not very accustomed to. So conditions could play a part. There will be the wind around this ground they'll have to get used to. But as we take a look at the highlights of that game, Zai Zumri, some lovely passes, and of course this wonderful sidestep by Risha and Silva, being probably the player of the tournament this season, or rather player of the season. Been absolutely brilliant. The highest try scorer and the highest point scorer as well, if I'm not mistaken, Sudarshan.
That's right. Rene Silva, the highest point and try scorer of the season. But I think Sudesh Jayavikrama is putting a real charge and a real challenge to that accolade, isn't it? He's one of those players who can really change the games and have done it for St. Peter's College, and has a very good head on his shoulders, has all the abilities that Rinesh has as well. Maybe has a little bit more physicality in him. There was another score from St. Peter's College, which was referred to the television match official. Coach Sanat Martis didn't look relaxed at that point, as Isipathana showcased that they still have a little bit left in their system. Dineth Ranasinghe receiving a yellow card for an intentional knock-on was sent to the bin. And people were wondering whether there'd be a little more left for Isipathana College, and they did not disappoint. At one point it was 16-15 in favor of St. Peter's College, as the Isipathana forwards toiled hard and made sure that they kept the hopes alive until the last 10 minutes.
Yes, I think that's what we can expect today as well. Both teams throwing everything at each other like they did at Bambalapete a couple of, or rather a month or so ago. And this was just icing on the cake, isn't it? The final score by St. Peter's.
Kushan Taridu, incredible stuff by him. Lovely dive to the line. And Coach Sanat Martis looking, it's very rare to get a reaction from him from the bench, but that time he knew with that score they were ever so close. they were just away, and he was just away from winning a league title. And this was the moment the Patriots knew that they are going to be crowned unbeaten league champions of the Dialog Schools Rugby League 2023. 28 points to 17 was the final score, as Ashane Madugaske proudly hoisted the trophy as champions at home grounds. What better way to do it? As we take a look at the crowds who are gathering in, if you thought the cloudy, gloomy weather will deter these supporters away, I think you were terribly wrong, as they've turned out in numbers in their college livery. The two teams making their way for the formalities. They'll be introduced to the guests of honor and will line up for the respective college anthems.
Yes, well, it'll be interesting to just have a look at both these teams' strengths and weaknesses, if I may say so. Patriots probably have a slight edge when it comes to their forward pack, slightly heavier pack. Isipathana rely more on their speed around the park. But I thought in that last semi-final against Zahira, the Isipathana third row were outstanding. I think it was Abdul Ahmad Gamage and Dunit Jayavira who put in a man of the match performance. So they will have a big role to play today to just try and front up to this Patriote pack, as we see the dignitaries being introduced to both teams.
Ashit Madhugaske, the skipper for St. Peter's College, introducing the Patriot team to members of Dialog PLC, members of Sri Lanka Schools Rugby Football Association, and also a very recognizable presence there is retired DIG Mr. Latif, who joined Sri Lanka Schools Rugby Football Association as a security consultant to make sure that everything runs smoothly. They will now be introduced to the Isipathana College team. It will be by skipper Navin Kanishka as the officials pose for the official photograph. Packed grandstand. It takes a lot of people to try and pack this stadium, so we might not have a full house here at Sugathadasa, but there won't be any lack of support or atmosphere as we await the start of this game. Isipathana looking psyched up. They cannot wait. They want to make sure that they get going. Patriots looking a little more composed. We will now cross over for the college anthems.
Thank you. It will be the St. Peter's College anthem next.
Well, there you go. Two powerful renditions of Isipathana Colleges and St. Peter's College anthems, and teams are pumped up. So are the supporters. Everything getting ready for the all-important action of Dialog School's Rugby Knockouts final. Here we take a look at the Isipathana College team. Dunila Hasidu, Senut Senarat and Damiru Rajapaksa making up the first row for Isipathana College. Mihisar Hetarachi and Tinet Doranguda will be the second rows for Isipathana. They will have to do a lot of work. They will have to bring in a lot of mass into this encounter. Abdul Ahmad, Nisaj Jaivir and Samati Roshan making up the back three in the forwards. 9-10 combination. Shanu Costa has been impressive for Isipathana College, and Naveen Kanishkar, the talismanic flyer for Isipathana College and the skipper for them. Center combination, Chamid Chirat and Shahid Sumri making up the 12-13 combination. Back three, Kalindu Silva and Rinesh Silva will be as same, but there is a change when it comes to the other winger. It will be Tarun Silva playing in place of Hashen Randimal. It has been a change last minute. Take a look at the Pete Wrights. Ranit Ridmal, Metusar Vishmika and Jehan Veerabangsa are the three front rowers for the Pete Wrights, with Sadev Gamage, Deputy Vice Skipper, and Sheniko Pereira making up the locks. And in the back three, Aiden Fernando, Dulaj Navodya and Ashin Madugaske, the skipper for St. Peter's College. The two halfback first 5-8 combinations, Salid Galage and Vindya Dimmel making up the 9-10 combination. And in the centers, we will have Dineth Ranasinghe and Sudesh Jayavikrama partnering up. They've opted for some speed. Yumet Chihara normally plays at center, moves to the wing alongside Kushan Tarindu and Pasindu Takshil, and will be the back three for St. Peter's College. Interesting change with Yumet Chihara coming into the win. Both teams getting in on the act, and the man in the middle who is going to be taking charge of this game, referee Ravin Alexander, will be assisted by Aruna Shanta and Callum Sandruwan as the assistant referees, and Anil Jasing, a lot of experience behind him, will be the television match official.
Yes, as we prepare for kickoff, an interesting change between Yumet Chihara and Jayavikram, isn't it? I thought that combination worked pretty well for the Peterites throughout the season. Sure, there must be a tactical reason for that switch. Probably we'll have to find out as this game progresses.
I believe the Peterites would have opted for that. We'll come back to that as Navin Kanishka kicks off the proceedings for Isipathana College. Here's Kushan Tarindu, decides to try and run, but still inside the 22 meters. Galage to Dimel, who puts the ball to boot. Doesn't find touch. Navin Kanishka with the chase. Not a very good kick, and kicks it out on the full. Not a good start for Isipathana College. They have brought play back to their own half.
Yes, just sense that the Pathana's keeper was in two minds whether to run with it or to kick ahead. Eventually deciding to kick rather late, and was in no position to make good contact with the kick, eventually hitting the side of the boot and going out on the full. So the line out for the Peters on the 40-meter mark.
First line out of the game is always going to be important. The loss now with the man lining it up for St. Peter's College. Lovely steal by Isipathana, play on calls. The referee has Pete Wright get on it, and good charge down. Here's Pasindu.
Look back.
Knocked back by Zumri Shahid with space. Steps one, steps two, still going Zumri. Lovely back of the hand pass, but have been bundled into touch on the 22-meter mark. So Isipathana College straight away showcasing that they want to run. They are not shy of running, and they will look for those 50-50 passes. If they can get a man running a good line, this is going to be an interesting one.
There's a good spoiling work at the line out by the Pathana lads first up as well. Probably create a bit of doubt in the Peterite line out, but chance for the Peterites to make some amends immediately. They'll have the throw-in right on the 25-meter mark.
Yes, Navodya lining it up, trying to get in the referees here. Good challenge that time by Dineth Ranasinghe, but Peterites coming away with it. Galage put under pressure. Isipathana wanted to play that mind game, have spoiled their line out, getting in their ear, making sure that they get the upper hand, wanting to dominate.
Yes, again, really good work by Dineth Ranasinghe. It's the second time he had spoiled the line out, so some good work by the Isipathana pack. Now it's just important that they get to the other end of the field as soon as possible.
Set. Steady. Hold.
Here's Isipathana. Kanishka gives it to Chirat, who crashes through, gets away from the first tackle.
Taken in.
Costa taken in, says the referee, so Kanishka cannot kick it out on the full. Tarindu Kushan collects it cleanly at the back. Here's Sudesh Jayavikrama, returns the kick. Kanishka collects it inside the 22, putting the ball to boot. And a lovely kick by Navin Kanishka. Tarindu Kushan trying to tell him, trying to point out, saying that it's kicked out in full, but it touched the ground before it went out. Very good kick from Kanishka, and that's a 50-22.
Yes, well, he's definitely made amends for that miscue first up. He's got his team into the 22 for the first time in this game.
Okay, good. Ball.
Here's a maul by Isipathana College. First attacking opportunity for the lads in green. Still rumbling and they're going. Referee Aruna Shanta has his flag up.
Well done. Hold.
Referee Alexander will continue play. Will want the ball to come out. Now they will have a conversation and see what's up.
Number 6. What's your recommendation? Manage it. No, sorry. Number 6. 4 leader. Yeah. No. Hurry. Right now. Kakulu ussana bෑ mall එක drive වෙන්න. හරි. ඒක එන්නේ. So walk continue කරන්න. manage කරන්න ලේසි. මම ඒක බලනවා. Right? මම මෙතන පටන් ගන්න penalty එක මොකද mall එක drive වෙන්න mall එක කොට kakulu ussana බෑ. හරි. Okay. No. White ball. Get back 10.
Brilliant communication. Absolutely top stuff by referee Alexander. You cannot lift your leg up on the driving maul, which is why Ahmed Abdul was penalized that time.
Captain.
He was flagged and informed by the assistant
Captain.
referee Aruna Shanta, who spotted that
No penalty.
penalty in favor of St. Peter's College. Isipathana will be quite unhappy.
හරි මං කියන්න. හපලා දිනවා. right? team media. මම බලන්න. හරි. මම බලන්න. හරි. ඔයාලා team එක manage කරන්න. මට ඉස්සරහට මේ වෙන්න බෑ. හරි. discipline is first. හරි. get back. කතා කරනවා.
Well, allegation from St. Peter's College that time made Fernando saying that there was some biting involved. So the referee will have a look at that as well.
It's a penalty. You can't foot up in the mall. Number 6.
Foot up in the mall is why the penalty is awarded. Let's see whether we can try and take a look at that touch from Vindedimal.
Surah, good call. It's a mark.
Well, this is not the only rugby that is happening, because the whole world is now looking at an interesting competition. The Rugby World Cup 2023 is currently happening, and you can watch the action live on high definition on the Papare.com channel as Isipathana yet again tried to spoil them all for St. Peter's College, who managed to get away with it. Pushan Tarindu, now Passindu. Back to Tarindu. Tarindu cramped up for space. Still manages to get away and encroaches the gain line. Galage. Good strong carry this time by Gamage.
You are not rolling away. First offense, number 1. Not rolling away, number 1. First offense. Clean out,
Hassan
take okay.
Fernando. Isipathana not rolling away, and that was his first offense, says referee Alexander.
Yes, it's always a very tight call at the breakdowns, isn't it, in modern rugby? Really good touch finder by Jai Vikrama. And just coming to that breakdown penalty, we've seen it not only here but even in the World Cup, isn't it? The poacher gets over the ball, but unfortunately the tackler doesn't move away in time, so the referee has no option but to give away the penalty. So the Peterites, they've had 3 line-outs, but Isipathana have been good enough to spoil all 3. Crucial line-out for them to get it right, deciding to go to number 1 this time.
Front peel by the Peterites, something that they go for. Here's running the Ridmal, trying to crash through. Ridmal goes to the floor, need to roll away. Isipathana manages to get their bodies away.
Advantage, line offside.
Isipathana line found offside. Referee playing advantage in favor of St. Peter's College. And here's a run, a powerful run by Shaniko Pereira from St. Peter's. Dimal, and through goes Sudesh Jayavikrama. We spoke about how this lad is going to be instrumental to St. Peter's College success. Skipper of last year, But the architect of this year's success for St. Peter's College, Sudesh Jayavikrama, touching down right underneath the post, making it look so very easy.
Yes, this lad's got it all, isn't it? He's got a power game on him. He's got a wonderful foot. Just look at the angle he ran between two Isipathana defenders. And a very strong lower body strength as well, breaking through to go under the post. No mistake with the conversion. And St. Peter's getting just the lead they wanted at the start of this game. Isipathana had their opportunities earlier on, could not capitalize, but the Peterites, to their credit, have not made the same mistake. 7 minutes into this game, and St. Peter's have taken the lead 7-0.
7 points to nil in favor of the Peterites, with Yumit Shihara converting that try. Lovely bit of work, isn't it? St. Peter's, it's brilliant to see them in motion. Isipathana, I thought, was a little frizzled. They never recovered from giving away that penalty, Abdullah. They need to get their focus right. They are very aggressive and they want to make sure that they are on the move. Isipathana with the restart, collected by Tarindu, who puts the ball up. This time finds touch.
There's a really good touch finder, leaving the pressure. We're almost on the halfway mark. But wonderful angle by Jayavikrama, was it, just running between both those Isipathana defenders. Both the Pathan defenders were caught a bit flat-footed because of the angle he ran, and just managed to go over rather comfortably in the end for the Peterites' first try.
Yes, Isipathana with their own line out for the first time, doesn't manage to collect it. Have lost it forward as well, Isipathana. Great communication by the referee, Senator Abdullah. He's continuously talking to the boys. He's trying to manage them with clear instructions, and that's what needs to happen. Long line out. The throw going a little wayward because of the strong wind going from right to the left of your screens. Navodya breaks. Gives it to Galage. Here's Passindu. Bundled into touch. The scrap for space. Isipathana that time reading it perfectly.
Yes, that was an interesting move by St. Peter's from the scrum. 8 to the open side flanker to 9, and then out to the wing 3/4. But probably not enough room to execute that. Isipathana third row good enough to come across, and
yet again Isipathana making a hash of that line out. St. Peter's now on attack. Vindarimal takes the ball in. Yes, Gamage decides to show and go himself. Isipathana need to try and get their defensive lines organized as Fernando takes it forward for St. Peter's. Here's Dimel. Shihara, Passindu to Tarindu. Takes the ball to the ground. Galage to Ridmal. It was short.
No, not play.
Pouncing on versus the Isipathana lads, and they have the right to the ball. They've managed to turn over. Costa puts the ball to boot, and on the chase is Rinesh Silva. Tarindu gets away from him. Steps another, but cannot get away from Dodangoda. Dimel at the back. Tries to clear. Collected inside the 22 by Kanishka. Kanishka's reply this time is inside the 22 meters. Doesn't go to the own goal. So Peterites Jayavikrama with the clearance, and that's a massive territorial advantage, and again for Isipathana College.
It's a good reply kick by the Pathana skipper. Couldn't have placed it better, if I may say so, just before reaching the goal line. So St. Peter's had no option but to just find touch, which they have done. both teams' line out in the initial passages of this game has been rather patchy, you'd have to say. Another opportunity for Isipathana to make amends.
5 call. 5. Hari. Shape.
St. Peter's seems like they are not intending to compete that, and but Isipathana really making hash of the ball. When you don't have competition, why do you want to try things extra, Abdullah? You just can get your number 2 to jump up.
First knock on green.
You know
Then again.
the wind conditions are not suited. You're not very used to the wind. Some of the fans wanting
First knock on green.
a bird's eye view, but
Again.
the Sugathadasa Stadium security are looking into
Number 6.
the safety aspect, as they need to be in charge of that. That's what happened. Scrum now in favor of St. Peter's College.
Bind. Set.
Galagay and Costa having a little banter before the put-in.
Hold.
Not initially well hooked. Dimel puts the ball to boot. Underneath that is Silva. Ravin Silva decided that he is going to pass it as Khalindu gives it to Zumri. Zumri surveying his options. Brought to Garam. Kanishka gives it to one of his forwards. Now Rinesh to Jayavira. Irushan Gamage rather. Gamage still going. Slightly high shot. The referee says okay. Lovely hands by Isipathana College. That time Fernando takes the ball forward. Isipathana in motion. Looks like poetry. A little kick, and Zumri managing to hold on to possession.
First knock on and the second knock on.
Chamidu Chirat got the ball to his hand, but referee says there was no advantage, as Isipathana lost the ball forward as well. Salih Kumar is surprisingly looking so very chill in the bench.
Yes, we just saw some lovely hands by the Isipathana forwards, managing to get over the gain line and behind that first line of the Peterites defense. Just wonder whether Zumri would have done well to hold on to the ball and just try and create another phase rather than trying a small grubber kick. Spectators have definitely thronged the Sugathadasa Stadium here today.
Okay. Change ka lagaun.
Real atmosphere building up here, and so far the game hasn't disappointed. Just coming to the lineouts of both teams, Sudarshan, pre-game we were talking about how well these teams will adjust to the conditions here. Just wondering whether both teams' hookers are having a bit of problem adjusting to the wind in the stadium here. Just haven't been able to find their target so far. Let's hope that as this game progresses, they're able to judge their throws a bit better.
So I think it's going to be very important on deciding if Peterites are not competing for the ball. Abdullah might as well just go to number 2 tested option. You have Ahmed Abdullah, who's a very good jumper, but here's a scrum in favor of Isipathana. Costa to Kanishka, gives it to Zumri, who dances in, but that's going to be a penalty. Rock formed
Number 9.
in a kickable position, and Navin Kanishka has no hesitation and just takes the correct call. He opts for the 3 points. It's knockout rugby. We saw yesterday how England won a game without scoring a single try. As we take a look at the Peterite bench, Sanat Martis, the head coach of St. Peter's College, looking out like a hawk about how his team is taking things on. Rinesh Silva, league's highest point and
Number 5.
try scorer, lining up the kick. A wave for the drone, thank you. And here's Silva. Lines it up on the 22-meter mark. Not a difficult angle. No problem. Opens the scoring for Isipathana College. 3 points to 7. Isipathana in the game now.
Yes, that'll just settle the nerves of the Isipathana lads. Points on the board, so crucial. Sure, they wouldn't have expected to concede a try so earlier on, but they have slowly but surely got themselves back into this game. Not just on the scoreboard, but in terms of territory and possession as well.
Now Pete writes with the restart. Isipathana need to make sure that they focus on this one and hold on to possession. Collected by Silva. Gives it to Jayavira carrying the ball. Now Costa with the box kick. Good kick to Tarindu. Tarindu marked well by Silva. Now Navodya meets ferocious defending by the Green Machine. Taking on the Bamba Brigade. Dimmel. This kick is fielded by Silva again, who cannot keep out the game. Costa puts the ball to a free space, but seems like the number 11 for Isipathana College, Chamidu Dilshan, was in front of the kicker. Should have started his run from behind the kicker.
Yes, you could hear referee Ravin Alexander very clearly saying hold, 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 but don't think the Isipathana left wing heard that call, and he was in front of the kick. So it's a bad error by the Isipathana lads. And a wonderful touch finder.
Once again with the Dimmel arriving to the party. Lovely bit of work by him. You can see on the screen, the bottom side of your screen, if you saw that when Costa kicked. Dilshan was in front. Sugathadasa Stadium, of course, has the facility of games being played on the lights, although we will not be using them today. Yes, Navodya lining it up for St. Peter's College, who opt to go to number 6. Madhugaski collects it cleanly. St. Peter's now setting it up. Initial defense from Isipathana good, but Petrites are now marching forward. Navodya breaks. Navodya going for the line. And Navodya touches down for St. Peter's College. Dulash Navodya did the throwing, controlled it at the back, saw the space opening up, and goes all the way. 5 more points for St. Peter's College. 12 points with the conversion to come.
Yes, very well constructed line out. And eventually Isipathana probably over committing into that mall, not having people on the short side, and Navodya wonderful vision to identify the space and going over for the Peterite second try. Some brilliant work by the Peterite forwards, you'd have to say.
If you can take a look at that same replay again, the replay that we looked at just a while ago after this kick. It was the show and go of Navodya. He sold that pass to the Isipathana halfback, who was quick enough to go to the short side, creating that space. Shihara lines it up. Connection is good. Has the direction and the distance. So 2 more points. 14 points to 3. St. Peter's, every time they come to the opposition half, they go back with points. If Isipathana is going to let Peters do this, they are looking down the barrel.
That's right. As have a look at that conversion once again. Yumit Shihara seems to be on song today, so Isipathana will really need to be careful and cut down on whatever errors they do commit.
Restart by Isipathana falls into no man's land. Pasindu ultimately collecting it. Now Dimel puts the ball to boot. Finds Kalindu. Gives it to his skipper, Kanishka. Puts in a little dink. Touched by a Petrite Pasindu. Now on the chase. Kalindu collects it. Needs to get away from Pasindu, but doesn't get away from the big defensive effort by St. Peter's College. Now the forwards accidental offside. Nothing going way of the Isipathana lads.
Yes, again, Isipathana skipper not doing his team any favors. Needed to find touch, or at least get the ball back in the Peterites' half, but the kick was charged down. The problem he's making is, rather the mistake he's making, Sudarshan, he's taking a couple of steps and he's unsure. It's just the last minute decision he's making to kick the ball, and by that time the defense is pretty much up on him. So another scrum for the Peterites, a good attacking opportunity.
The most popular schoolboy rugby player by Papare.com. As we take a look at St. Peter's College, Tarindu gives it to Dinat Ranasinghe. Ranasinghe goes all the way. First phase move. How about that from St. Peter's College? Beautiful work as their crowd erupts here at Sugathadasa Stadium. And just like that, they're making easy work of this Isipathana defense. St. Peter's College. Lovely bit of work. Here's Jayavikrama to Dimel. Tarindu called him to cut back inside, and lovely running line by Dinat Ranasinghe, reaching out and scoring that beautiful work from the Petrite backs, and we are so very thankful that the rain gods have stayed away.
Absolutely brilliant by the Peterite three-quarters. If you just go through that play once again, there were the decoy runners, there was the blind wing linking up as well, there was the switch pass at the end, the straightening of the line. It had it all. Absolutely brilliant work by the Peterite three-quarters. You probably wouldn't see a better try off a first phase move.
Shiharo lining it up. Makes connection, but this time strays to his left. So the score will remain at 19 points to 3. It's not the score, it's how they've scored it, Abdullah, that will really hurt the confidence of the Isipathana lads. They've looked like they've been inundated in that final move of the scrum. That's what they're playing for. The all-important Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts President's Trophy. Kanishka restarts, finds Tarindu, who lines up the kick, and this time doesn't get much distance. They cannot take it quickly because the ball found the sponsorship board.
So Isipathana just need to take a small breath, calm down, probably keep the ball tight for a while. Their kicking game hasn't been as accurate as they would like. It's caused a lot of problems for them.
This time though, Isipathana managing to collect that one. Sets it up. On the move, Isipathana.
Number 2, side entry.
Side entry by St. Peter's College. So penalty in favor of Isipathana.
Going back to the penalty.
No problem there by what Sadev
Number 2, side
Gamage
entry.
did. He had all the right to that ball, but advantage was being played
Side entry, number 2.
by a referee for a side entry by Metusara Vishmika of St. Peter's. Kanishka with the kicking duties. Puts the ball into the 22 meters. Isipathana desperately needs a try, needs a score before half time so that they can get some confidence back. 10 points to 19, Abdullah, 8 points to 19 reads much, much better than 3 points to 19. Again, the throw is good. Setting it up beautifully. Isipathana. Now on the charge, marching forward. Isipathana on the move. This time, St. Peter's are equal to the task. Lovely bit of work by the St. Peter's defense, who managed to shove Isipathana onto the sidelines, onto the touch lines.
1 point. 1 point.
Yes, I think there needs to be better communication between the person who had the ball at the back of that maul and the Isipathana scrum half Costa, because Peter Wrights very skillfully were shepherding that maul towards the touchline. And that's some really good work, you'd have to say defensive work by the Peter Wright forwards.
Nah, යාලා මේ
So
tape
these are
කරගන්න
the
tape කරගන්න.
chances that Isipathana cannot afford to let go.
ඔය
I
එලෙඩි
now
මාරු
throwing for the Peter Wrights.
කරන්න.
It's like Shihara seems to be
back on.
having a bit of an issue with his boot.
Well, that's one boot St. Peter's don't want any issues with. Now the throw. Won by Isipathana. Now, dangerous running. Samidu Chirat crashes through the middle.
No.
Good securing work by Zumri. Costa wanting his forwards to get in on the act. Isipathana forwards wanting to keep it close to each other.
Get all the way.
Big carry
Get back,
by
get back.
Hasindu Fernando. Digging for it was Damhir Rajapaksa. Rajapaksa still going into the 5 meters. Now Pathana forwards going on the shorter side. Ball available at the back.
Stay back.
Kamage.
No, one shot.
Kamage was initially short, but
Goal line.
on his charge forward, he was held up. Beautiful call by referee Alexander, who was right on the spot.
It's not a
Yes,
drama.
but again, it was some really good work by the Isipathana forwards. Not something that you'd associate very often with Isipathana rugby. Pick and goes along the fringes, but they definitely managed to put a lot of pressure on the Pete Wrights, but some good desperate defense over the goal line,
Ball
just
behind the
thwarting, I think it was Hirosh Gamage's attempt to go over the line, so it'll be a goal line dropout for the Pete Wrights.
Dimel. A low kick, almost a grabber. Finds Kanishka. Here's Silva. Rene Silva with space. Plenty speeds. Runs across. Still gets forward momentum. Silva.
No, not survive.
Good clearance, and here's Dodangoda. Hetiara Chirada. Jayavira to Kanishka. Kanishka was not having a great day.
Play on.
Jackal redeems himself, winning the ball back. Here's Mihisara to Silva. Long cutout pass to Zumri. Zumri gets away from the first tackler. Zumri going. Zumri steps. Zumri needs support. Makes the ball available, and that's beautiful tackling work from Sudesh Jayavikrama, who's been the man for Isipathana
Goal available, no hands.
not being able to penetrate the Petrite defense. Lovely counter-ruck work. Zumri now to Kanishka. Naveen Kanishka gets the first score for Isipathana College. Gets 5 points for Isipathana. This would mean the world to them. Fighting points for Isipathana Abdullah. 8 points to 19 with the conversion to come.
Yes, well, it all started off from that brilliant counter-ruck by the Isipathana forwards. Jaya Vikrama did brilliantly well to snare that ball from a Zumri run. And as you can see, from that turnover, the Pete Wright defense was in 6s and 7s. And the skipper was the recipient of some really good work by the Isipathana forwards. And with that score, they're right back in this game. Just 5 minutes to half time. We'd expected a response from Isipathana, and that's exactly what we have.
Okay, got it.
Slight drizzle coming down here at Sugathadasa as we ready for half time. It's quite cloudy.
Enjoy.
We don't want the rain to hamper this game, because we've seen glimpses of what these two teams can do. as Silva lines it up. Difficult angle for him. But doesn't make good connection.
Last ball.
Under 5 minutes to go in this half. Slight drizzle as you can see on the screens. 8 points to 19. 11-point lead for St. Peter's College.
Yes, but with that try by the Peterites, they've definitely announced that they are not going to lie down without a fight. You'd have to attribute that try to some wonderful work by the forwards.
The Papare Most Popular Schools Rugby Player of the Year 2023 has moved on to the second phase. SMS voting is now open. The 20 players who got the highest number of votes in the web voting have been shortlisted for the SMS voting. You can visit thepapare.com to find out how you can vote as Sudesh Jayavikrama meets the kick with a slight kick of his own, but it goes out on the full. Naveen Kanishka's kicking hasn't done a lot of good for Isipathana so far this game, Abdullah.
Yes, I'd like to see him just try and move the ball hands to hands a bit more.
It's become very dark here at the Sugathadasa Stadium, and unfortunately, if you are a cricket fan, it's moving towards Malikavatta. Now, it may not affect rugby too much as Jayavira goes to the ground, makes the ball available. Costa to Mihisara, gives it to Kanishka. Now Gamage to Chamuduchirat, who leaves the ball behind, but rescued by Kalindu. Costa to Kanishka. Mihisara has done a lot of ball carrying for Isipathana College. The Pearly lock. Oh well, Naveen Kanishka drops it like a hot bar of soap. This is going to happen after the skies opening up, and with the slight drizzle, it's ever so difficult. As you can see, the skyline of Colombo now almost non-existent. That tiny line is the Lotus Tower, or else very, very visible in most parts around Colombo. But rain or shine, here at thepapare.com, we will be bringing you these pictures. And a massive shout out to all of you watching from around the world, joining these pictures.
Okay, steady. Number 6 in. Hold.
Here's St. Peter's with a brilliant attacking opportunity. Dimel to Jayavikrama. Tarindu met with a big tackle by Silva. Isipathana putting pressure around the fringes. Dimel gives it to Navodya. Navodya onto the ground. Stolen by Isipathana College. Lost forward now. This time, skies opening up rapidly. Massive rain coming down here at the Sugathadasa Stadium. This can make this game a real stop-start affair. 1 minute to go, says the referee.
Yes, now it's going to be interesting to see how both teams adjust to this, the change of weather, isn't it? They've got to be smart. They've got to understand the conditions, the condition of the underground, the condition of the ball. Kicking could come into it much more.
Here's Kanishka, puts the ball to boot into an empty space. Sudesh kicks it back to Silva. Here's Rinesh Silva looking for space. Looking to run around, Pasindu doesn't find him. Jackler had the right to the ball, couldn't latch on to it. Mihisara yet again with a very good carry for Isipathana College. Costa putting the ball to boot. Now barely visible because the rain is coming down so very hard here at Sugathadasa as referee Alexander calls for half time. Well, Abdullah, it's not looking very good. Barely visible. And the rains have come out in force here at Sugathadasa.
Yes, well, the problems, I guess, when you have an international cricket match in close quarters, you have to expect this. That's been the trend so far. But just coming back to this game, what an entertaining first half it's been by both teams. St. Peter's off the blocks extremely well, quickly. Got 3 tries to their names. And Isipathana, to their credit, fighting back with a try courtesy of their skipper. But at halftime, it's the Peterites who are relatively comfortably placed, 19 points to 8. And with these weather conditions, you'd have to say that's a pretty healthy lead to go in with at halftime.
Oh, absolutely. 19 points will convert to around 25 to 26 points with this weather, because they will walk out here for the second half to very, very different conditions. Here's how the game started. It looks like another day entirely. So there's Chai Vikram running through the middle, making it look so very easy. Shihar had absolutely no problem converting that one. 7 points in it. Isipathana opened their scoring through a penalty. Silva complying, and take a look at this. Lovely show and go by Navodaya. Reaches out, scores the second try for St. Peter's College. Shihar that time again managing to dissect the post and making sure. And here's a lovely bit of work by the Peterites. Decoy runners, missed passes, inside run by the winger. It had it all. And then the score by Kanishka, who benefited from some very good work by his forwards, who managed to really put in a tremendous performance and win that ball. With that, we will go for a quick commercial break. It's raining heavily here at Sugathadasa, but the game will continue. Do not go anywhere, because on the other side, we will have the second half action of Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts 2023.
Kissed Ride. Try the new wave of energy.
Colombo, beautiful outside and inside.
Kissed Ride. Try the new wave of energy.
Smooth vanilla dairy ice cream with a thick layer of caramel, wrapped in a delightful coat of rich chocolate. It's unique. It's magic caramel ice cream bar.
Kissed Ride. Try the new wave of energy. Kissed Ride. Try the new wave of energy. Kissed Ride. Try the new wave of energy. Kissed Ride. Try the new wave of energy.
Smooth vanilla dairy ice cream with a thick layer of caramel, wrapped in a delightful coat of rich chocolate. It's unique. It's magic caramel ice cream bar.
Kissed Ride. Try the new wave of energy.
Smooth vanilla dairy ice cream with a thick layer of caramel, wrapped in a delightful coat of rich chocolate. It's unique. It's magic caramel ice cream bar.
Kissed Ride. Try the new wave of energy.
Colombo, beautiful outside and inside.
Kissed Ride. Try the new wave of energy.
Smooth vanilla dairy ice cream with a thick layer of caramel, wrapped in a delightful coat of rich chocolate. It's unique. It's magic caramel ice cream bar.
Kissed Ride. Try the new wave of energy.
Colombo, beautiful outside and inside.
Kissed Ride. Try the new wave of energy.
Black Knight, make your mark.
Kissed Ride. Try the new wave of energy.
Smooth vanilla dairy ice cream with a thick layer of caramel, wrapped in a delightful coat of rich chocolate. It's unique. It's magic caramel ice cream bar.
Kissed Ride. Try the new wave of energy.
Enjoy the infinite possibilities of the freedom of space, inspired by the beauty of our land. Sri Lanka's finest finished, largest sized porcelain tile collection. Majestica. Lanka Tiles. Fine living redefined.
Kissed Ride. Try the new wave of energy.
Catch the excitement real time. Be up to date with it all. Let us capture your milestones. Get it sizzling hot off the turf. Hear the experts break it down. Dig deep into the nitty-gritties. Be inspired by their greatness. Relive all the scintillating action.
Season 1 දැනුම Season 2 චරිතාවලිය Season 3 ක්‍රීඩා විප්ලව
Welcome back to the live action from the Sugathadasa Stadium as we ready to bring you the second half of the Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts final. A very different game we will have on our hands in this second 35 because as you can see, the skies have truly opened up. It will be a different game altogether here at Sugathadasa. Massive rain coming down, Abdullah. So the strategies would have changed now.
Yes, it would have been really interesting to see both teams coaching setups, giving instructions to their carders at half time. As you very correctly said, game plans, tactics, everything will need to change. Will not be easy for Isipathana. They've got to chase the game in this second half. And in these conditions, it's not the easiest thing to do. The Pete Wrights, to their credit, put on a brilliant first 25 minutes or so in that first half, giving them a really important cushion going into this second half, considering the conditions that are prevailing currently.
Referee Alexander had a terrific game so far in the opening 35. Tarindu with the kickoff doesn't get the bounce that he got in the first half. Here's Jayavir with a crashing run. Costa lining it up for the box kick. Underneath it is Tarindu, not collecting it cleanly, and that's going to be a feature in this game, but it's judged as the supporting player did not support his own body weight. So Isipathana with an opportunity to try and start the scoring. Kanishka for the touch, doesn't get the angle that he was looking for, just outside the 22 meters. Very important line out for Isipathana College. They need to make sure that they hit the mark. Here, take a look at this. Knee on the ground there. By Navodya had to support his own body weight. Line out yet again. Doesn't find the man, but luckily at the back, salvaged by Isipathana. Making use of their forwards a little more than they used to.
So he has his hand up for a penalty advantage as well.
Isipathana still on the charge, using the forwards. On the ground, needed to release. Referee will go back to the initial penalty. Not 10 meters is the call.
Decision making time. Interesting to see what the call will be. Will they go for points? Yes, skipper Kanishka deciding to go for points, and I think that would be the correct call. So early in the second half, just try and chip away at this lead. But again, Sudarshana, very interesting some of the tactics employed by the Isipathana lads. The pick and go along the fringes, and to their credit, they have been constantly getting over the gain line. So it's something which they have employed in this game, probably taking the Peterites a bit by surprise as well. And the Peterites just not being able to cope with that area of the game so far.
Isipathana have recognized the fact that Peterites are not committing too many players around the fringes, which is why their defensive line is so very strong. Wanting to make sure that they try and get as many players as they possibly can, as Ravin Silva adds in 3. 11 points to 19. Lead now just 8 points. Isipathana chipping away. And right call made, like you mentioned, Abdullah, to go for points, as Silva dutifully gets the ball across the post. Now take a look at this restart. It's going to be interesting. Tarindu is not going to get the same bounce from the surface, so might not get the same elevation. Costa to Jayavira. Jayavira goes to the ground. Lovely work by Ridmal that time to pounce on that ball. Galage goes to the ground, makes the ball available. Now the Peterite forwards. There was a ruck formed. Hands inside the ruck. Quickly taken by St. Peter's College. Navodya takes it quickly. Referee playing advantage in favor of St. Peter's because Isipathana didn't retrieve 10 meters. Peterite forwards. Gives it to pass into the winger. Obstruction, so Referee will come back to the penalty. Again, a decision to be made here for the Patriots, and they point at the post.
Yes, a chance for them to immediately get that cushion back, which they enjoyed at half-time. Just the kickoff, so very important, isn't it? Isipathana did well to collect it initially, or rather gather it, but then forwards just a bit late to that breakdown, resulting in some really good work by the Patriot forwards, turning possession over and then applying enough pressure to force the error by the Isipathana forwards. And Yumit Shihara with an opportunity to get back that original lead that they enjoyed at halftime.
Thankfully, the rainfall has reduced somewhat here at the Sugathadasa Stadium as Yumit Shihara lines it up for St. Peter's College. Good connection, and it sails through. 22 points, 11-point lead restored for the Patriots.
Both teams just need to keep in mind the wet ball when they're playing the game from here on. It's not the same conditions that they enjoyed at the start of play. A lot has changed since then, and it's important that both teams adjust to that. Good correction by Dulaj Navodya. Collected by Dimel off the base. Nice long ranging kick into the Isipathana 22. Collected by Costa, who finds touch, but you'd have to say that's a really good net gain for St. Peter's. Territory is going to be crucial in this second half for both teams, especially so for St. Peter's, considering the lead that they do enjoy. It's 11-point lead in these conditions against the defensive prowess of St. Peter's. Not an easy thing for the Isipathana lads to get back on even keel.
Four-man liner. St. Peter's College going to the back, loses it forward. So scrum in favor of Isipathana College will be pretty happy that they managed to get that. Tense looking supporters of both the teams understanding how important it is in this passage of play, Abdullah. They need to make sure that their team gets into even keel like you mentioned.
It's interesting to see what kind of tactics Isipathana are going to employ. I thought they did really well at the start to attack around the fringes. It's a kind of game that it's ideally suited for these conditions. It's not something that we associate Isipathana rugby so much with, but just adjusting to the conditions really well. And they've got a scrum just about 10 meters away from the halfway mark.
Dialog to Costa. Costa puts the ball to boot. Rinesh in pursuit of that finds Tarindu. Good tackle on Tarindu by Silva. Dimel acting as halfback puts the ball to boot. Collected inside the 22 by Costa. Costa decides to run. Good tackle on him by Dinet Ranasinghe. And the Patriots have managed to pounce on that ball. Intentional loss forward, knock on rather, by the Pathana lads, who are being frustrated by some terrific work by the Patriots.
Yes, so far the kicking from the base has proved really effective for the Patriots. Managed to gain some good territory from that, and Isipathana lads haven't been quite able to cope with those kicks. Got another penalty and an opportunity for Shihara to further extend this lead. We spoke about the importance of goal kicking at the start of the game, and it's definitely proved so. Shihara has done really well in these soggy conditions so far.
Shihara lining it up. Makes good connection. Had the distance, but this time doesn't get the direction right. Will be a 22 dropout in favor of Isipathana, but the Petrites won't mind because they will get possession back.
This territory is going to be crucial in this half, especially considering the conditions. Want to play the game in the opposition's half as much as possible. Nice long kick by Kavin.
Now, Tarinder's kick goes to the red line. So, it will be a restart from where the kick was made. Isipathana will want to try and play as much rugby as they possibly can in the opposition half. In these conditions, the ball handling is going to be very tricky.
So also the kicking game is the Sudarshana. The wind directions would have changed as well.
Oh well, take a look at that. 2 photographers and another one joins the party. 2 photographers working in tandem. Hiran Virakuri holding the umbrella for Samira Piris. Teamwork at the sideline from the Papare photographers. Kanishka to Chirap. That's given forward. The idea was right. The timing wasn't.
Absolutely. Some good work by Centre Botejo, just getting over that the first defensive line and just trying to offload to his fullback. Unfortunately,
seems like Hiran Virakuri has already gotten a call that is on the TV. A little wave would have helped.
As we have a look at that replay again, it was always the plan, but unfortunately, Pathana fullback just not timing his run as well as he could have. So an opportunity for St. Peter's. Dimel, there's no hesitation in thumping the ball down, but kicks it out on the full. So another opportunity for the Isipathana lads. Just adjusting to these conditions is just going to be so important.
They haven't been able to get that continuity going. St. Peter's College, Isipathana now bringing it down, setting it up. St. Peter's trying to drive them to the sideline. Isipathana still with the ball. They need to make sure that their retention is good. Kanishka to Chirat. Jayavira to Zumri. Zumri gets away from the first tackle. Back of the hand to Silva. Silva changes direction. Good defensive work by St. Peter's College. Costa to Kanishka. Kanishka passes to Dodangura. Here's a foot race. Shihara. Kanishka tries to collect it. Not able to do that. Yes. Gulas Navodya. Well, what happened there? We will have to wait and see. Referee Alexander wanting to have a chat with Callum Sundarwan, the assistant referee. Good communication. Sends it up to the TMO.
So it's these kind of calls that the TMO is there for.
Alex.
Just a wayward pass, and Petrites defense good enough to pounce on that.
On-field decision, no try. Check the grounding.
So the on-field decision is no try. They're checking the grounding. Here's Navodya. Doesn't catch the ball. Lets the ball come in. Seems like the arriving player, number 11 for Isipathana College, Chamidu Dilshan. made sure that the ball didn't roll over.
Give me another angle, please.
This angle will give him a better look.
Okay, I have a decision. Alex, knock on by Green, scrum down, white ball. Knock on by Green, scrum down 5 meters, white ball.
Well, very clear, easy one for the television match official. Lost
correct.
forward by Green, scrum down 5 meters, white ball. So St. Peter's with an opportunity now.
It's not a bad result
Alex,
for the Peterites at all.
Alex, knock on by Green, scrum down 5 meters, white ball.
Well, it was just the referee signaling to restart the clock. The Peterite fans got a little excited because the arm was raised. It's not a try. Scrum. Nevertheless, position for St. Peter's College. Now Navodaya at the back in the number 8 jersey will be wanting to make sure that he goes all the way. The man on your screen will be looking to attack the short side. Keep your eyes open for a 9-8-11 move on the shorter side on your screens, as referee Alexander is not happy with the set. 22-11. The league champions looking like they are going to go all the way to become double champions with an unbeaten record intact. Navodaya gives it to Jai Vikrama. Now Zumri on the run. Zumri still going. Puts the ball to boot. A late tackle on him. Chasing that ball. Isipathanians. But the referee will bring play back. That might turn out to be the first yellow. Number 6. Referee will want to have a chat with the assistant referee.
Yes, it's a big call. Zumri pouncing on that loose ball, charging ahead, realizing the defense was on him, kicked ahead. What they'll need to decide is whether the tackler was committed or not.
Yes, Aiden Fernando, given a yellow, will be sent to the bin. There was always that danger, Abdullah, because that player had already kicked the ball, and it wasn't like Aiden wasn't committed to that while he was kicking. It was surely late. So Isipathana now with an opportunity. Kanishka puts the ball to boot, finds touch inside the 22 meters. 11 points to 22. Just under 50 minutes on our clock. 20 minutes to go in this second half. A score here for Isipathana will lift their spirits. Here's what happened. Zumri already appealing when he goes down. Interestingly, shouldn't the penalty be awarded where the ball fell at the land, not where it was kicked? Nevertheless, Isipathana on the charge, going forward with advantage. Looking for the ball. Is it available? Yes, it's available for Isipathana. Now charging to the 5 meters. He's Jayavira. Hasandu Fernando tucks it in for Isipathana. Lost forward that time by Mihisara Hettiarachi, but referee Alexander had his arm out for an advantage.
One thing you'd have to say so far of this Isipathana, they definitely stood up today, is that Sudarshana. They have more than matched the Peterite 8 today. You thought that that's an area where the Peterites would have a significant advantage, but I have to say the Isipathana 3 quarters haven't quite performed well. Do understand that It's not the best of conditions in the second half, but even in that first half, they had opportunities, but not good enough to capitalize. Another very well constructed maul by the Pete Wright forwards.
Isipathana going forward, makes the ball available. Here's Hettiarachchi going to the side. Hettiarachchi. Referee Callum Sutherland was right on the spot. We'll have a word with referee Alex. Again, it will be referred to the television match official.
Yeah, Alex. On-field decision is no try or try. Right, on-field decision is try. Check the grounding, please.
Well, interesting. On-field decision, Abdullah, is that it's a try. So the grounding has been seen by either one of the referees. Here's where Mihisara collects the ball, goes to the short side, and there, just there, yes,
One
assistant
more replay,
referee
please.
Sandharuan puts his thumb up and says, yes, I've seen a grounding, but just to be sure, let's go to the TMO. Can see the ball on the corner. It seems like there was a grounding, at least the man closest to that.
Give me
the
another
official
angle, please.
Closest to that saw the grounding, so the television match official will have to see conclusive evidence not to award this try.
Yes, this you'd have to say is the best available angle, a head-on shot. You have to keep in mind that
I have a decision now.
he'll have
Alex, I have no evidence. You go on on-field decision.
Well, brilliant stuff. Referee Anil Jayasinghe says, I do not have any conclusive evidence to overturn your call on the ground. Go ahead with awarding the try. So 16 points to 22 with the conversion to come. Isipathana College biting away in that lead. Abdullah, if they can get this conversion, it's just one score away.
Absolutely. And again, Sudarshana, the Isipathana forwards have definitely stood up today, isn't it? They've really taken it to the Peter Wright 8, constantly getting over the gain line, attacking on the fringes, and surprisingly the Peter Wrights have been found wanting in that area of the game. So it looks like skipper Naveen Kanishka has taken over the kicking duties.
Be interesting to see whether the reason is because the Patriots are expecting Isipathana to play that expansive game. Well, Kanishka's conversion. He's in shambles. Doesn't get the connection as well. 16 points to 22. The score will remain at that 6-point lead to St. Peter's College. 52 minutes on our clock, and this game is far from over.
There's just the score between both teams now. Kushan with the restart. The best of kicks, very well collected.
Hettiarachchi taking it in, has done a lot of ball carrying. Referee Alex says continue play because it was through a boot. Costa puts the ball up. Underneath it is Tarindu. Silva collects it. Silva goes to the ground, but he came to the ground very unsafe, so the referee will have to check on that, because the moment the player goes up for the ball, Abdullah, the other players around it need to make sure that they are very safe. Yesterday we saw England being reduced to 14 men at the start of the game for an unintentional arrival and a head-on-head clash.
So looks like Rinesh is up and running, which is great news for Isipathana. So the resulted kick was kicked out in the full, but both players going for the ball, so I don't think...
completely legal there. Now Isipathana managing to make sure that they set it up again. Numbers arriving, should have driven that ball a little more. Here's Zumri. Zumri looking for options. Zumri puts the ball to Booth. Not able to collect. Where's the beat right, number 12. Zumri again. Zumri on the charge. Inside the 22 meters are the Pathanians. Kanishka, referee playing advantage. Mihisara charges through the middle. Just inches away from the 5-meter line. Yes, Kanishka to Gamage. Gamage, one man to beat. Gamage touches down. Oh well, even I thought that it was the 5 meters. It was the try line. But he lands on the 5 meters thinking it was the try line. Oh well. What pressure can do to you. What pressure can do to you. It can fool the best of us. Scrum requested by Isipathana College of that penalty. You can clearly see that the momentum has shifted towards the green corner.
17 minutes to go, Sudarshan. Do you think they could have gone to the post and further reduced that lead?
I think they are latching on that momentum, Abdullah. They are in the opposition half. They want to make sure that they get as many points that they possibly can. Petrites have been hassled a little. They've been rattled. Here's Costa at the back to Kanishka. Kanishka gives it to Zumri. Massive tackle on him. Kanishka again kicks the ball, but why would you do that? Just why would you do that? Now Peters can try and get out of jail. Dimel kicks the ball and gets good distance. Here's Costa looking for a counter attack. Kalindu changes direction. Passindu on Kalindu. Pathana still with possession. Loses it forward. A little lack of concentration by Jayavira. Inside the red zone of your opposition, you just do not kick the ball away like that, Abdullah. Especially when you opted to go for a scrum of a penalty.
Yes, sir. Kanishka's decision making in terms of the kick ahead hasn't been great, as we have a look at Isipathana's head coach Salia Kumara and his assistant Danushka Botejo arcing out some instructions. So chance for the Petrites to clear their lines as we have a look at that knock forward.
Damir Raja was that time taking his eyes off the ball. It's difficult one to pick when it's wet. Now Jaya Vikrama with a thundering kick into the 22 meters. Kalindu collects it. Was initially knocked back. Silva tackle inside the 22 meters. Isipathana need to work hard to secure that ball. Forwards will have to hit out a couple of pods. No, they go to Kanishka at the back, who looks for touch but finds Jaya Vikrama, dangerous customer. Jaya Vikrama going now to Tharindu, who loses the ball forward. Isipathana will be breathing a big, massive sigh of relief.
Yes, but again, a really good punt down the field by Jaya Vikrama. Playing the territorial game, using all his experience. Just sense that as long as he's there pulling the strings for this Petrite outfit, they will be safe. Very rarely makes the wrong decisions. Isipathana, fortunately for them, the decision making on certain occasions in this game hasn't been up to the mark.
That time, Tharindu looking at who he needs to pass before he caught the ball. Now St. Peter's College restored to their original number. 15 against 15, and they've only given away 5 points when they were down a man. Aiden Fernando will want to make amends for that as Yuvindu Korituaku comes on in place of Costa. Pete Wright's also making a change. Dinet Ranasinghe taken off. And in comes Revon Pereira. 56 minutes on our clock. Just under 15 minutes to go. There's plenty of life in this game. Where will this game end up? We will have to wait and see. Can Isipathana really turn this around? The rain has ceased, Abdullah. It's a big relief to many.
Yes, but you got to keep in mind the underground conditions, the underfoot conditions, isn't it, Sudarshana? Yet probably a bit soggy, so the ball is going to be quite slippery.
Isipathana put in. Costa digging for that ball. Some pressure. Kanishka puts the ball to boot. Collected on the ground by Jaya Vikrama, attempting at 50-22, and he gets it. Was he inside the 50 meters? Yes, he was. And this young lad is really milking this rule to all it's worth.
Well, if you wanted to see two different contrasting kicks, you couldn't have seen a better example in that passage of play. Naveen Kanishka, Isipathana skipper, with a pretty much a nothing kick, not much purpose in it. Unfortunately for him, it went right into Jaya Vikrama's hands and used his trusted boot to great effect.
Look out for the front wheel from St. Peter's. Gamage collecting it. And Isipathana managing to keep him up. Wants to get his knee on the ground. Needed to release because he managed to get the knee on the ground. Isipathana trying to jackal it and wins the penalty. Lovely work by Hasandu Fernando, who read that very well. Kanishka with touch and just brings his team just outside the 22 meters. We are approaching the last 10 minutes of the game. Well, very lucky because Jayavira was blocking the ball from coming out from Isipathana, the number 8. Could have very well been a penalty against Isipathana that time. Now Mihisara finds the man in front. Isipathana setting it up. Needs to get the ball to the back of that maul. Referee playing advantage. Will whistle for the penalty. That's another yellow. That time for the skipper, Madhu Gaspe. So St. Peter's will finish this game with 14 men on the park. Isipathana now with a brilliant opportunity. Kanishka needs to get his connection right and get his team. Good touch. Brings them to the opposition half. Abdullah, interestingly, I do not like the fact that the Isipathana scrum half is so very quick to try and get the ball out from the ball. When it's moving forward, try and let it move forward as much as you possibly can.
Well, it's not a style of play they are usually accustomed to.
Again, Isipathana setting it up. Securing it to Kanishka. Kanishka gives it to Zumri. Zumri to Rene Silva. Rene Silva. One man to beat for Silva. Gets away from Jaya Vikrama. Brings play into the 22 meters. Isipathana looking for options. Zumri accelerates. Makes the ball available. Isipathana now playing with pace. Kanishka gives it to Fernando. Fernando battling and brings ball to ground. Hetiarachi to Kanishka. Kanishka to the replacement. Who tucks the ball in. Tehan Ranavira. Ruck form, says the referee. Kanishka gives it to the big forward, Jayavira. Costa to Gamage. Gamage loses the ball forward, and just like that, the promising move from Isipathana comes to no avail. Petrites, though, they have lost momentum. They need to try and settle down. Game management is going to be key. Abdullah, they are without their skipper as well in the red zone. What can they do?
If they just got to play the territory game from here on, just stick Isipathana in their own half as much as possible. Use Jai Vikrama's trusted boot to good effect, and as we have a look at that replay, again it was that man Jai Vikrama.
You just can't take him out of the game, can you? Sudesh Jai Vikrama, present everywhere. The channel was blocked. Here's Dimel putting the ball to boot. Doesn't find touch, finds Silva. Sends it out to Chamidu. Chamidu straightening things up. Goes into contact, trying to rip that off. West St. Peter's player. Fernando carrying the ball for Isipathana, looking for that try that can get them close to the Petrite score. Chamidu again kicks the ball inside the 22 meters. Not collecting it cleanly initially, was Tarindu managing to hold on to that. Dimel. Kick charge down. Shihara puts the ball to boot. Jayavira. Tackled by ferocious defense by the Petrites. Here's Zumri. Zumri puts the ball to boot again and collected, this time by Gamage. Making the ball available. Costa to Zumri. Zumri gets away from the first tackler. Makes the ball available. Fernando. Isipathana. Everybody playing expansively. Knock back. Kanishka collects it. Makes it available. Helter-skelter stuff. No strategy or no set play here. They want to go to the try line in whatever means possible. Isipathana. Forwards getting in on the act. They are determined to do it through the forwards. Fernando. That's a penalty. The player latching on, the number 5 for Isipathana, Dodangoda, lost his footing. As we see the sun coming out again close to the course. Beautiful pictures on Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub. The game really heating up now. Petrites opting to go for 3 points. Madhugaspe, the skipper for St. Peter's College.
So, Yumit Shihara, long range attempt. Just wonder whether he'll have a bit of wind behind him. Seen him make some good strikes this season.
And also with this, Petrites are sucking in on the time as well. They're making the clock run. Well, drills it through. What a brilliant conversion by Shihara. Well, I would have said channeling in Johnny Wilkinson, but after yesterday, he's channeling Graham Ford. George Ford, rather.
Well, I don't think Yumit Shihara would have needed to take a more important kick this entire season. He's really kicked well for the Petrites this entire period, but I don't think there would be a more important kick which he had to make than that one. Now, with that score, the Pathana lads need to score at least twice to get back into the game, and that's definitely not going to help. You could just sense the shoulders of the Isipathana lads drooping once that kick was made. And And with just under 5 minutes to go, Isipathana looking down the barrel. An uphill task, 2 scores. Not be an easy task. Peter Wrights will now just want to control possession as for long periods as they possibly can, as we enjoy these wonderful views. Absolutely brilliant pictures. Don't think we have seen this kind of aerial shots before. Real kudos to our drone controller.
It's the Papare.com production crew working tirelessly. Had to pull on an all-nighter yesterday. The Papare Most Popular Schools Rugby Player 2023 SMS voting is on as the Pete Wrights look to finish this game off. Here's the news halfback onto the sides as Isipathana go digging for that ball. Not available for them. On the short side, Isipathana getting a penalty for Pete Wrights entering from the side.
I think Isipathana need to try and speed things up. Sure, line out will help their cause. They've just got to take a chance and take a few quick taps, because kicking the ball to touch, resetting for the line out is just going to run the clock down. Just under 3 minutes remaining, or just over 3 minutes remaining. Isipathana got to keep in mind they've got to score twice.
They really do have to kick twice here. Line out made shambles of by Isipathana College and St. Peter's, number 5 that time. Not managing to collect it cleanly, but the earlier mess was by Pathana. St. Peter's College just minutes away from becoming the unbeaten double champions. They had to surrender the 7th title to Isipathana. They won the league at home. Here they are, just couple of minutes away from winning the knockouts title here at Sugathadasa. Peters put in 16-25. Peters in the lead. Dimel puts the ball to boot, and that is full time. Referee Robin Alexander blows full time, and it's celebration for St. Peter's College, who are ecstatic, who have done the unbelievable feat of beating Isipathana twice in 2 trophy encounters. St. Peter's College are Dialog Schools Rugby Knockout champions and keep their unbeaten tag at the end of this magnificent game, and jubilation, celebration for the Pete Wrights. Commiserations, of course, with the Pathana lads who tried ever so hard. Naveen Kanishka will be disappointed in himself and how he did play up. The rest of them need to keep their head up.
Yes, that's right. Isipathana put in a good fight, but this moment absolutely belongs to the Peter Wrights. What an effort from them. An unbeaten season, not the easiest things to do in a very competitive school rugby setup. But they've definitely hung in there. They've taken their chances, produced some wonderful tries in that first half, and eventually just playing a bit smart rugby in this second half. As we have a look at their victorious skipper, Sanath Martis, will be a delighted man today.
Well, had a disastrous season last year of the St. Peter's, turning out to be placed at the 12th place at the end of the season, but here they are, unbeaten double champions. Won the league with an unbeaten record, won the knockouts with an unbeaten record. Lovely bit of work by the Pete Wrights, who have earned the right to celebrate. Coach Marty's calming them down, wanting to make sure they get to enjoy the moment. The rector for St. Peter's College must be an overjoyed man. And then, as the traditions continue for St. Peter's College, congratulations St. Peter's College for becoming Dialog School's Rugby Knockouts President's Trophy champions with an incredible record, running in as undisputed champions, winning the league and also now winning the knockouts as well. Isipathana College, second best both times, couldn't cross the hurdle of the beat rights. Abdullah, this game has been absolutely terrible. We've somewhat fallen short in our duties to try and decide who the player of the match of this final will be. If it was Isipathana, I think we would have both agreed to award it to the entire Isipathana set of forwards. But I think from St. Peter's College, there have been a few notable performances, but one man stands out for me. It has been Sudesh Jayawickrama, who's been omnipresent in defense, in attack, and also honorable mentions to Kushan Tharindu at the back, and also Aiden Fernando, the number 6. Although he got a yellow card, he was very good in defense.
Yes, I'd have to agree with you. And you forgot the fact about his kicking game as well. It just took the pressure off the Peterite lads on many an occasion. And not just this game, but throughout the season, he's just been their calming influence in defense, in attack. Got it all started today with that wonderful line he ran from a short ball from Dimel. Got the first points on the board, and then when the rains came in that second half, his kicking game was on song, on the spot, and quite deservedly has been appointed as the man of the match of this knockout final. As we see both teams congratulating each other on a good performance.
Well, that's the beauty of rugby, isn't it? You try to kill each other for 70 or 80 minutes, but soon after you are the bestest of friends, because you know what your comrade on the opposite side goes through, and you know exactly what it feels like to be wearing the jersey representing your alma mater. Lovely scenes here at the Sugathadasa Stadium as we ready for the all-important award ceremony, but it'll take a little time for anyone to drag the Speedrite outfit from their celebrations. The supporters must be absolutely overjoyed. But as for Isipathana College, they've been wonderful. They had a terrific first half of the league, fell short in both games. Full-time confirmation here at the knockout final, 16 points to 25. 2 tries to Isipathana College and 3 tries to St. Peter's. And those 3 tries which were scored in the first half, Abdullah, really took the game away from Isipathana.
Yes, it definitely proved crucial, but overall, Sudarshana, what a wonderful game we've had, and that's the man of the match today. Last year's skipper, Jayawickrama, absolutely brilliant.
What a player. What a player, Sudesh Jayawickrama. He's been leading from the front for St. Peter's College and deserves all those accolades that are coming towards him, all the wishes he's receiving, and he will have a bright future in the club circuit. Here's the highlights from the second half.
Yes, Isipathana got points from a penalty, but St. Peter's responded with one of their own immediately. And then from a driving maul, the Isipathana forwards just barging over. And at that point, the game was very much in the balance. The Isipathana lads had a couple of chances which they didn't take. And then just before full time, Yumi Chihara with that monster penalty kick, sealing the game for the Peterites. who end up as deserved knockout champions and the only team to remain unbeaten this season. What a performance it's been from them. It's going to be celebrations time at Vambalapitiya. Richly deserved. They've been under a lot of pressure this season in numerous games, but they've managed to withstand all that and come out on tops. Acknowledging the support they have received from their Bamba Brigade, as it would they like to call themselves. A very happy outfit. Remaining unbeaten, never an easy task, but they were good enough to do that. See a few selfies been taken. Jai Vikrama, the toast of everyone at St. Peter's, and quite rightly so. These are the match stats. It's 3 tries to 2, 2 conversions, 2 penalties, each from the boots of Shihara and Silva. And our player of the game today, the Pete Wright inside centre, Sudesh Jayavikrama. So that's the full-time score for you. 25 points to 16. Very entertaining final. Saw lots of good tries in that first half, but in the second half, the showers came down on the Sugathadasa Stadium and it became a bit of a tit-for-tat affair. You'd have to say that the Pete Wrights control that part of the game much better than their counterparts today.
Well, Abdullah, it has been one of those days, isn't it? The weather goes have been very kind to us, although at half-time there was some doubt whether we will be able to continue the second half of this game because the rainfall was so very hard. It was so very strong and the visibility was challenged, but luckily at the end of this all important encounter the skies have ceased and hopefully it will hold up until we conclude the presentation ceremony where we will be able to celebrate the unbeaten double champions, St. Peter's College. They've worked so very hard to get here, Abdullah. They've worked as a unit. You couldn't, apart from Sudesh Jayavikrama, I think you couldn't pick another player who has really shown individually, because Pete Wrights have worked as a real unit.
Yeah, absolutely. And why Jai Vikrama stands out, it's not just his rugby ability, but his ability to think as well, isn't it? He's a real thinker. He analyzes situations extremely well. And in that second half, some of those kicks which he made was absolutely crucial to get the Pete Wrights out of a hole they've put themselves in. And a young lad with a very bright future.
Well, everything is now ready for the all-important presentations. So now we will cross over to Papare in the middle.
Hello and welcome. Thank you very much for your patience. Sri Lanka's premier connectivity provider and prolific promoter of Sri Lanka sports, Dialog Asiata sponsored Dialog Schools Rugby Knockout 2023 has come to a completion. We are now happy to get along with the presentation ceremony. The Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts 2023, the President's Trophy final between St. Peter's and Isipathana has been a roaring success despite the brief period where the weather was absolutely not in favor of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Give a round of applause for Isipathana and St. Peter's. Thank you very much. Sri Lanka Schools Rugby Football Association, Dialog Asiata, extremely pleased with your presence here. We are ready for the presentation and cordially inviting our presentation party. Mr. Harsha Samaranayaka, Vice President Brand and Media, Dialog Asiata PLC. Mr. Amal Surya, Additional Secretary, Establishment, Ministry of Education. Mr. Upali Amartunga, Director of Sports, Ministry of Education. Mr. Kamal Arya Singha, President, Sri Lanka Schools Rugby Football Association. Mr. Nirodha Vijayarama, Secretary, Sri Lanka Schools Rugby Football Association. Mr. Buddhika Attanayaka, Vice President, Sri Lanka Schools Rugby Football Association, together with Mr. Damita Pereira, Treasurer, Sri Lanka Schools Rugby Football Association. Thank you, distinguished invitees. First on the agenda is an appreciation for the security aspect of this game, and it has been a voluntary situation, and we take this opportunity to cordially invite Mr. Kamal Arya Singha, the President of the Sri Lanka Schools Rugby Football Association, to hand over the letter of appreciation, and Mr. Harsha Samranaka, Vice President, Brand and Media, Dialog Asiata, PhD, to hand over the plaque. It will be a great moment for his great service to the game in particular. Presented to Deshabandhu M.R. Ratif, retired Senior Deputy Inspector General, Police. Thank you very much, sir, for all the hard work done voluntarily to make everybody safe today. Okay, it has been a great game. These two schools met in the sevens final. I know they met in this knockout final, but in between, in the decider for the league, these two schools met in that important game too. As far as today's game, the first half went 19-8 in favor of the Papare school, and despite the Havelock Town lads getting a slight advantage at 8-6 in the second half, there was no question about the 25-16 victory for St. Peter's, Colombo. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a great game. Thank you. When you find that 30 players have made such an impact on the game, it has also been a situation where the player of the match or the player of the final has been also made known to you. In this situation, the check for him will be presented by Mr. Buddhika Attanayaka, Vice President, Sri Lanka Schools Rugby Football Association, and the trophy by Mr. Upali Amaratunga, who is the Director of Sports, Ministry of Education. The commentators and everybody else would not disagree. Player of the final, Sudesh Jayavikrama, St. Peter's. Congratulations to you, Sudesh. Next on the agenda would be the presentation of medals to the runner-up team. Cordially inviting Mr. Amal Surya, Additional Secretary, Establishment, Ministry of Education, together with Mr. Nirodha Vijayarama, Secretary, Sri Lanka Schools Rugby Football Association, to do the honors. It has been a long season and they have made their presence felt, but on this occasion, again, they will end up second best. Isipathana College, knockout runners-up. The team led by Naveen Kanishka, head coach Salia Kumara, assistant coach Danushka Boteju, Harsha Gomes, Shafin Majid, and Asanka Veligamage, the doctor, providing the support staff work. Master in charge, Sume the Premisary. Always tremendous presence. The green shirts in schools rugby. It's always been a solid situation. Against the same opposition, they started off on the winning note, but had to be second best today and in the league decided to. President's Trophy, the dummy check to be presented by Mr. Nirodha Vijayarama, Secretary Sri Lanka Schools Rugby Football Association, and the runner-up trophy by Mr. Amal Ederusurya, Additional Secretary, Establishment, Ministry of Education. Isipathana College, runners-up 2023, Dialog Schools Knockouts. Through the season, it has been a tremendous achievement. There has to be a winner. Well done. Thank you very much, Mr. Edusuri and Mr. Vijayarama. Next up would be the presentation of medals for the championship winning team. We cordially invite Mr. Harsha Samranayaka, Vice President of Brand and Media, Dialog Asiata PLC, Mr. Kamal Arisinghe, President, Sri Lanka Schools Rugby Football Association, to do the honors for their tremendous performance, being unbeaten champions in the league and here in the knockouts. St. Peter's College, Bambalavidya. Captain Ashen Madugaske, Head Coach Sanath Martis, Assistant Coach Rajiv Ferreira. Coaching staff included Banuka Nanakara Ransulu Jayatilaka, DP Udesari. Master in charge, Mr. Noel Kure. They have been outstanding. They have run the ball at every given opportunity. They have tackled the opposition to a standstill on many an occasion. Weathered a heavy storm after a wet outfield, but still managed to be there. They've got the runners, they've got the tacklers, they've got the kickers. It's been a tremendous season to get through the fifth through this season. Now for the moment you have been waiting for, the Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts 2023 President's Trophy, Champions Trophy to be presented. Mr. Harsha Samranayaka, Vice President of Brand and Media, Dialog Asiata PLC, together with Mr. Kamal Arisinghe, President of the Sri Lanka Schools Rugby Football Association. Unbeaten champions, St. Peter's! Shane Madigaske, on behalf of his team, on behalf of his school. I'd like to thank our presentation party, the distinguished invitees. Thank you very much for being there. All the participating teams, all the match officials, the service providers, the Papare.com and Dialog Television, the live coverage like no other. All venue staff, the media, got a wonderful job done. The match officials, the match service providers, as well as the schools authorities and the coaching staff. Thank you very much. On behalf of Sri Lanka Schools Rugby Football Association and Dialog Asiata PLC, we say congratulations St. Peter's, well played Isipathana, and thank you all participating schools.
World champions of Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts, St. Peter's College, celebrating their success, celebrating being unbeaten, double champions of Dialog Schools Rugby League and also Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts. What a day it has been for these young lads from Bambalapidia who've really dominated the play, especially in that first half, and managed to make sure that they go home with the trophy. They have a full trophy cabinet this year, St. Peter's College. They've made sure that they cross all hurdles that were thrown their way and are proud champions of Dialog Schools Rugby League and also Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts. Here's another look at the key stats of how this game panned out. Isipathana College 16 points through 2 tries and 2 penalties rather. They missed out on the conversion aspect. St. Peter's 3 tries, 2 converted and 2 penalties by Yumit Shihara, who we missed to mention a little Abdullah, but player of the match Sudesh Jaivikrama, who was absolutely wonderful throughout the season and also in this game.
Was the skipper of that, showed tremendous character to come back this season. As you can see, celebrating with their coaching staff, who put in a lot of effort this season as well. And it's celebration time at Bambalapitia. No doubt about that. There's going to be a party right down to the very late in the night, and absolutely well deserved. What a great effort it has been by them to remain unbeaten this season.
Well, here's an update for you. We've traveled across update from Ketarama covers on at Ketarama. Showed that India versus Pakistan game currently at a standstill. Our drone doing absolutely wonderful stuff. Our drone pilot, Drone Mudhyante, doing terrific work, and kudos to the Papare.com production crew for bringing you these pictures. 2 for the price of 1 if you are a subscriber, and if you are joining us on Sri Lanka's #1 Sports Hub, we try and give you a little bit extra. But back to where we are, back to Sugathadasa, where the Petroids are celebrating every single member of their coaching and their support staff. Lovely sentiments and lovely work by the Patriots, not forgetting a single person who have helped them come this far. It has been a terrific season. It has been an exhilarating, thrilling season throughout the 2 months. The league, the knockouts, we've absolutely enjoyed bringing you these pictures, and we really do hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. But for the time being, it's time to say goodbye from the Papare.com. I'm Sudarshan Apiri signing off alongside Abdullah Yusuf, the Papare.com production and the technical crews from Sugathadasa Stadium. Goodbye until we see you again.